by Memphis. No, I bought it in Florida. I was on sale. I go when there's a sale. It's like I was for $15. No less. I think 12. Oh, thank you.
Okay. I don't want to block anybody's view. And I want you to be the only one in it. Okay, so thank you all for coming.
You said one more person's coming.
Yeah, she's on her way.
I saw another man here before.
They're outside. They're going to be here in a second. So anyway, thank you all for coming. This is, let me just introduce, okay, everybody knows Bobby.
So did you introduce?
I said hello to everybody. I'll just say again, I'm Bobby's granddaughter. I'm very privileged to be Bobby's granddaughter. And what we're doing here, this event is a Project Makom event. Project Makom is to help people who grew up in the Haredi Hasidic world who are unhappy for a variety of reasons and who want to explore the larger Orthodox world and to see how they can live a happy religious life that's intellectually satisfying, emotionally satisfying. And so where we could see there, you could be religious and you could be happy. So Bobby is
that the same as our place?
I don't know so much about our place.
Our place is a drop-in center for kids on trips. It's very different.
Okay. No, because the place is, Makom is a place. Okay.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law is a sister to Mogi Schwartz.
Okay. Yeah. So we call ourselves the From Footsteps.
My children did use this.
I think I met you. You came to Yaakov Horowitz's event. You spoke there. Yes. Now I remember why you looked familiar. Okay, I was there too with my mother. She was there.
Someone's knocking.
When? Mindy?
The door is
Your mother,
locked.
Emma was there? When?
Yaakov Horowitz had a thing where you talk to parents of kids who are no longer religious or
I
religious.
see.
So she spoke. Let's go and see if anyone
Oh, you spoke?
Right.
Very nice. So,
Very nice.
what did you
Like,
say?
unfortunately.
Huh?
Listen.
I guess Emma went to the Yosef.
I dragged her, yeah.
And she was
Yeah,
happy.
she did
She
it,
went.
yeah.
Oh, really? It's not the shul because it's a little bit far out from us. I know that shul.
Okay, so without further ado, Bobby, you're up.
Let me get my bearings together. Well, as I'm definitely not going to name names. Excuse me. You understand? Nobody. No Lashon Hara, and everything that happens is because we need to delve deeper into things. But Mindy says, but you're not exempt yet from writing a book.
Right.
She's a writer, okay? And she always says, Bobby, I'm gonna write a book about you, okay? Okay.
This is part of the material I'm using for my research.
Are you?
Well, I have stuff in my memory, but I also want to have stuff recorded.
Okay, anyway, so I have to start when you're born, right?
You say her story?
Her story,
Your story.
my story. Well, everybody has a story. You just have to open up. So I was born in Hungary, in Budapest, Hungary, after the war. After 2 years after the war, in 47, and we lived there in Hungary, in Budapest, 3 years, and we were. My brother was also born there, and I have a lot of things. I'm going to mention it now. A lot of things kept me from veering off because of my father, because I grew up and I saw righteousness, but I didn't see, like nowadays, everybody wants to out from each other. I didn't see. My father was a great Poisik for the Satmar Dayan, and he was already 52 when I was born. Somebody's coming? So where are the guys? They don't want to hear the story?
They know that we
Yeah, I told him.
And so I was like very, very close to my father, and he respected me, and that was a biggie because in the Tzidisha world, they don't regularly respect the mind of a daughter and all. But quite a number of things he sort of told me. I guess he felt that I can understand it. So he was a very big Machma for himself, but very big Michael for everyone. And that's that's the utmost, because if you know how to learn, and a lot of learning, you can do that with people. Somebody came over to Yankee, which is my son, and he said, guys, if you understand Yiddish, all of you?
What do you trust?
Okay, the weiß dann, Seite got breite places. You know your Seite had broad shoulders. He was able to give a him where he saw or whatever. Yes, because if you know something, it's very easy to say no to everything. This is not kosher, not this. Okay, so we went, we were what they say, refugees. We went to 1950, we left Budapest just before that afternoon. The communists came in, and my mother was determined to leave Hungary. Cousins and aunts stayed there. And my father was happy there because the first time in his life that he was earning money. He was a very poor man, where he was Rav and Dayan in Europe. Now it's the Ukraine. Anyway, so then we ended up in the DP camp in Fernwald. And I remember from then on, I remember everything. So it was a very interesting thing for me because I used to. Fernwald. You were born in Fernwald? I don't believe it. What year?
48.
Oh, we only came in 50. No, we came in 50. About 15 after 51. Yeah. So you were there when the Kosenberger. Then the Kosenberger left, we came. Problems. So he was there out there, and I remember it was very interesting for me as I got older to understand it. I used to love to sit. We had one room where we ate, and it was the surim, whatever surim was, and one room we all slept in. And there was no refrigerator or those things. I don't even know how my mother cooked. I don't remember that. But there was a dark room where there was cold water, and that's how we kept things cold. But they said also, I remember the ducks. The smoked ducks, my mother made smoked ducks and hung it up there. I guess that stayed for a while. I guess you didn't always have shchita there. No, I just remember. So I used to love to sit under the big oak table and listen. Right? But I loved it, and I always did. And this woman rather, every recess used to ask me in school, what happened last night, Leila? What happened last night? I'll never forget it. And I had to remember whatever I heard.
He was so excited, there was interviews going on.
Exactly. And I heard a lot of things. So it wasn't, but I took it for granted. And so later on, I understood I had a big space to be mashamish my father and also all the knowledge. But that really helped me. We came to America, and then my father was the head of the Sachtis, and I was the secretary at 10 years old. And I learned how to type the Hebrew typewriter. Do you know that? Tell me, you guys, did you grow up being able to say no to your parents? Casey, you maybe.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, do you? The oldest. Never, ever, ever to say, I don't know, or maybe later, maybe tomorrow, right? So my father took me to Sachtis, and I did whatever they told me, and I learned how to type. And I also cleaned. I was a cleaning girl too. So, and also the butts of cigarettes is in my head. There were so many butts. I guess now they don't smoke like that.
Huh?
Butts of cigarettes. I don't know. No, then because the people. Sachtis was the place where they came for. My father was there every day, but he still had Torahs at home also, and Shilas and whatever you want. I'll never forget I'm going to talk whatever, not everything's chronological, okay? I remember a very interesting thing. A woman came in and she says, my husband had an affair, and that's why my son's hair is falling out. Well, after the thing. And then there was a woman that came in and said, I had an affair with a man. I says, yeah, in Yiddish she said it. Yeah, let me see. I said, she wants a get. She has to have a get because she had an affair. My father, there's a lot of times women do that because they want to have a get. They didn't know other times they wouldn't get it. So my father says, fine, let's go to that. Let's sit down and talk. You tell me everything. And then when I find it too, what?
You were still 10?
And then when I have the two ideas, that is so now, then you can get a gift. Never happened. But there was a lot of interesting things. And I also remember the Giten we had a shul downstairs, and there was one time, which was very romantic as I remember it, this guy in an army uniform, he was more than an army, I was like, he made sure he was marrying this woman that she's getting a religious get. So
First they made the get, then they made the marriage.
yeah. And hello. I was okay. Then came the time that I was supposed to get married. I mean, it was very interesting, all these things, and actually we were supposed to live in Israel because from Germany my father got invited to become Rav in Yerushalayim. And what I found out yesterday, I was at my brother's, and he doesn't remember anything, only from later on, from Williamsburg, when we moved there in 54, and close, whatever. So I'll go back, and he was invited. And also I thought I was to be head of Eide Charedis, but he says, no, to be head of all the poskim. Yes. I am very, very, I really, when I think I'm 68 years old now, I don't know, you must be in the 50s, no? Yeah, and when I think of where I grew up, and that really kept me, not that chas v'shul that I ever wanted not to be religious, but okay, so the time, my father came back from Germany, he went through Belgium, and the Satmar Rebbe was there that Shabbos, and he went to discuss his plans of going to Israel. And the Rebbe started yelling, she does not allow kapishurul, that's my father, to go to Israel. I need you in America. So my father made a neder that Aviviyas HaMashiach, we're not gonna. Then my brother got married, and in Israel, so 2 hours before the flight, in those days, I don't know, you didn't have to be 2 or 3 hours there before, I guess not. 2 hours before the flight, he waited, he was not in there, but three, whatever it was. And I will always remember those sparkling eyes took a trip, and he knew everything by heart, every little cranny by heart. That trip, wow. History, knowledge, and all. So I was always attracted to that. Do you know? I don't know if you remember. Well,
I don't think you didn't mention that you were getting married at this time.
No. When we went to my brother's wedding, yes, I was married. But I'm just saying it that of what my father felt. But I also, because I said that it really affected me, I used to have to make the shalosh shudas for the shul.
Naomi, you forgot to say how you clean the kapishashir.
Oh no, okay, but that's a schis for me. No good. Yes, I never thought. I cleaned until I got married. Even that day that I got married, I still clean. My mother asked once, Mommy, shields are going over? And I did, and I always loved to sing. Are you falling asleep? Then maybe I should start dancing. I love to think that I'm at the davening. It's called the kahal. So I used to, and I knew how to daven the kaddish in Yom Kodesh and this, and I started singing. And I remember mother saying, my father says, wer singt du? Falsch das zu der Reise. Wie kennen Sie das? And okay, but you know that I always sang at parties, and I was always in every play and all that. But getting back to it, so I made the shalshudas, but sometimes, a lot of times the friends wanted to come to us, right? Because it was more fun. But sometimes I came myself, and the hallway was packed, the men and the bucherim. And I was taught, and it was my own thing, that I don't know how to get there. I'm trying to go in. I have to prepare the shalshidas, and all of a sudden the bucherim, Chatzifa. And I was standing, I went back outside, I don't know what to do. All of a sudden, one of the men come out and say, "Was dit doch du?" They said, "The roof's the lots of And everybody cleared out, and I ran up the steps. So, but no matter if my friends were there, I always liked to go down to the Shalshidas there because it was very interesting. My father had a good way of speaking also. But they all liked to come from Satmar also because it was, and I took it for granted. But now I'm not taking it for granted. Okay, then came Shidduch time. And they said, yes, and I had, but I didn't see anybody. I mean, my father was interesting. He said, you know what that means? An officer, like officer and a gentleman.
In a stram.
So, anyway, I saw this Raf's son, and I don't know. I didn't know what to ask. That I asked the name and what this, and I wanted to know.
Say how old you were, by the way.
Well, I was 17 and something when I got engaged, and 18 when I got married. This was all.
She was, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you ask him? What did you want to know?
No, I wanted to know if he's romantic. So I asked him.
You asked him?
I asked
How
him
old
if
was
he
he?
likes trees. He was a year older than me.
Trees?
Trees.
Very romantic. What's his favorite color, huh?
So
What did he
then,
say?
And he still took you?
yeah, he always said he was proud that he didn't marry this Yaakov girl because all his friends. He went to Torah Das. Listen, I had a very, we got married and
Two
it's
sons.
it. Sons Kanahar, and then I had a very difficult marriage. Very, very difficult marriage. Why? When we all have things that we have to go through, but I always felt that I'm at fault. That's how we grew up like that, thinking.
Were you made to feel like that?
Oh, definitely. That's where it comes in. Because I like to dress in colors. And I got a lot of flack because maybe I looked attractive. But when I became the Rebbishe, it's a very, very hard life for me. I had no personal life. I had no private life. And I always liked colors, and I always liked to dress what I felt interesting. Not have to be expensive. Used to love to go to remember Joyce Leslie in Borough Park, and things like that. But
You were very realistic at the same time.
yes,
I remember.
Casey lived across the street. We know each other. When how old was Shulchan then? We moved there.
Well, we moved away
What
in
year?
70, so we moved to 45th and 70, so.
Oh, but we were still there.
Right.
But you moved to 45th 45th and 17 you moved to?
I lived across from you, and then we moved to 50th and 14th.
Oh, but how many years did you live across from me?
3-4 years.
Oh, that's it? I thought
Yeah.
much longer.
No, we stayed in touch.
Yes. So, yes, it's great. And, but this is what I want to bring out, because this is part of what I want to talk, is that I was so hurting here, and I was so unhappy, and we didn't talk about it. Once I remember crying. All of a sudden, I was talking to my mother, and I cried, and my mother says, "Warum darf man Tochter weinen?" But my mother died suddenly, and I was like 20, between 22 and 23. And then his father died 6 weeks later, and they got along very well. And it was plans to move to Israel. His plan was to move to Israel. My mother, when she came back from the shidduch from my brother, she just loved it. She says, "Was," and so they planned to move. Meanwhile, while I'm still on 47th Street in the walk-in, and then he was supposed to. He learned. I thought in my head, I didn't know anybody else. I didn't understand if a man gets up late, how that works. My father, if he went to sleep 12 o'clock, 2:30, up. That's no matter what. If there was Torahs in the house till 2 in the morning, he never went to sleep.
Wow.
Never went to sleep. So in the afternoon, he used to take a nap, and he used to say, "So Reise, wek mich auf in 15 minutes. So Reise, wake me up in 50 minutes." I was there, and I went in, Tati, it's for 15 minutes. Yeah. That's it. He didn't allow himself home. So I needed to respect the man. So I remember one day, maybe it was a few, but I went to the Svarim, and I cried so much to Rabbi Shlomo, "Please, Rabbi Shlomo, change my personality, that I shouldn't want to get dressed, that I should just talk about recipes, that I just talk about the laundry, that I just talk about what I did now in the kitchen and how I bought this and that. Please, Rabbi Shlomo, better change my personality because I'm suffering." Everybody was on my case. I never heard of my father, not once. Not once. But as I got older, I realized that that's not what the Shadchan wants. He gave me my personality, dafka, because that way I make people happy, and if you make people happy, you're happy yourself, and you do things. Okay, that was that, and then it was not easy, and not because I was a Rebbitzin was it hard. It was, I don't know what to say because it's going to be on this. I'm not saying it was just something I was given. I was given, and I had to go through it and do the best. But then already I couldn't take anymore, and I asked for a get. And that was a major thing in those days, in 79, to ask for a get from a Rebbe. That much I'm saying.
You've been married for how long?
14 years. 14 years. And then they sent everybody to talk to me and all that, and already but I was very, 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 very tough times. I never had a pimple in my life, and then I broke out in acne, and it was all tension, and I really had not good thoughts. I didn't know what to do, because there was the person in the family who really controlled everything. So I was told I should go speak to Taraf Polak from Shomer Emunah. And I did, and he said we could help you 3-way or 2, together with a therapist. And that saved my life. Chana Parnas is her name, and I didn't have any money. And she said, whenever you have the money, you can get. By the time I got the get, and meanwhile, my father was not already really well, it was already this, but there was, I remember being there, and he asked my uncle, you remember Fatamaya Dim with the candy store?
Sure.
So I'm glad you're here, you know? So that was my
She can
uncle.
bounce things off us.
Yeah. And my father said, Reb Maya, ich will so gehen zu Briske Rebbitzin und sehen, sie mir kennen bis. Wollen wir sehen, sie mir kennen bis dien? You understand? I should repeat it.
Yeah.
Okay. This was the name. Okay. So when he came back, he said, Kapi Shuruv was also the, ich kann auch sagen, als Reise ist, I didn't get in mit Sonne. so fantastic. Foolish. You know, he wanted to know everything, that we did all the things that we can. By the time I got there, okay. Now, Harav Krieger was the one to give me the get, and he said, my father actually got the stroke on the day when I received the get, but he didn't know. He always asked me, Shandu Shul, and I comfort. So he said, I'm going to take care of you like your father, because he knew my father very well. And why am I saying it? Because Krieger said, I'm not going to make the get until I know that you are settled, that you have an apartment. So he thought probably it's going to take time. And I found it, and this is what I'm realizing. Everyone should know, when we know what we want, and it's the right thing to do, Hashem's Baruch gets it to you all the time. There's no question. Of course, I was young and I didn't think, but right away. And I got the part where I wanted to. I wanted to be next to the kids. So it was on 15th Avenue between 16th and 7th, on 45th Street between 16th and 17th Avenue. And so we made the thing that I can see them twice a week. They come to me for suppers and every second Shabbos.
So
And
he got custody?
Way, everybody's going to ask that question. Why? What happened? I said, well, I knew the minute they were born that if a father wants sons after age 7, that's the halacha. I knew it. I heard it. I lived with that. Oh, my earrings aren't there. Okay, I don't. But for that, so I'm going to put it on. Earrings. Yes, I know, but no such thing as not to see kids. But it was punishment for me because it was a major thing to ask for a get in those days. So pain, I cannot describe the pain. Mother doesn't see her children. And that I have to be very open, because nobody should ever, 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 ever do that, to take away the right for mother to see her children. And not only that, children suffer. When it's a father, it's not that much, not so much damage, but mother. And I remember also, which I feel good, that there were 3 women at that time that they weren't allowed to see the kids, and they sent them to me, how I was able to talk about how I was able to cope. I always like to look at things in a deeper sense, and I felt there was a much deeper feeling, not to blame. See, I don't want it to feel I'm blaming, to pointing a finger. No, chas v'shalom, no. But I do say there was a lot of heartache. And if anybody who hears this and knows, and they should never do that to a mother. I tried every which way. Came on mitzvah, and I mean with the cost of it. I tried every which way. I won't even talk about it. But then I got remarried in 6 months. Very nice man, but unfortunately, my Tanai, we got married when he asked me to marry me. He said, loved me, whatever. It was like after 6 weeks of seeing each other, I said, marry? I remember it was on Simplest Torah at night. He came from Boliv and he said, marry you. I said, marry? I said, I'm saving money. I'm going to Israel. This is my dream. I'm going to rent out the apartment. Oh, how do you say it? Do sublet the apartment, and he says, well, I'm not ready, and we'll see. I always believed everybody. Now I'm much more smarter, but but I still together. And then it never happened. It never happened. So
What never?
that
She got married and she never went to Israel.
I never went to Israel with him. It wasn't in the.
It wasn't in the
We were
contract.
there. It was not in the contract. If I would have known how to go about it, verbal, yeah. But it was interesting. Then after 50 years of marriage, and the children were already at the age where that you have to make aliyah for them to be able to really absorb. If he was already 2 years older than the cutoff point at 10. But for me, I actually went to therapy to understand why it was so important to me. First of all, I love the land and everything, but also I realized, and I'm okay with it because I understand it, because my father always wanted to be there, and I was very close to my father, and I always heard him talk about it, and always ask, "Was it done? And what's happening?" I had, I don't know if I forgot to mention, but it wasn't an easy life. Both my parents were Holocaust survivors, but they each lost 9 children, each. My father went with 11 to Auschwitz, and 9 were killed. One was supposed for, but 2 came back adult, 9 children. And the story, so they never spoke about it, but I found out after she passed away from my other aunt, Hansha Rosenfeld, that the oldest daughter, when they came to Auschwitz, first of all, the youngest was 1.5 years, and the Nazis loved to do sport, like the British, they like to shoot for the birds.
Target.
What is it?
A target.
Yeah. I don't know if it's target.
Shooting it.
Right, but that's what they did with her.
What's it called?
Skeet shooting.
How's it called?
Street shooting?
Skeet shooting.
Skeet shooting?
Did you with the baby?
Yeah. She saw
Your
that.
father and your mother's baby.
My mother, she had 1.5 years old because the husbands were taken away. She was 40 when I was born, so maybe she was 38 by this. They were now a year in Auschwitz, so she had the baby on her own, and the oldest was 16. And one time she mentioned, weißt du, der Mann für meine älteste Tochter, sie ist auch gewesen eine Leibedicke, and she was the one to bring in Hanusa, to help Hanusa,
16-year-old.
because the husbands were
They were
in labor camps. And what happened, so she lived with this guilt. When they arrived to Auschwitz, Yimach Mengele said right, left, and she and her oldest daughter were sent to the right. The other kids to the left. And my mother, nobody knew what's happening. So when she saw that Yamin was not looking, she said to her oldest daughter, "Heidi, don't touch again, Mrs. Azami, the kinder. You go there. At least somebody should be there with the kids to take care of." That was the end. So I always thought, did you ever see the movie Sophie's Choice?
I read the book.
I read the book and saw the movie, and it's similar that she had to make a choice between her son and daughter. It's a true story. Okay, so it wasn't easy, but it was a public house and very interesting to grow up and all that. But I suffered a lot about my personality. So, but did it ever occur to me to go off the derech? No. It's because when I used to hear, the parsha, the Yosef HaTzadik used to see his father's face, Yaakov's face, same thing. I used to see my father Yaakov's face. It was because it was different. It wasn't. But nobody ever said that it's wrong to be lively, to love life. I always loved having people over. I always and to dress normally. But that much. Anyways, I'm up to after 15 years of my second marriage, and I say, I have to go to Israel. This is 15 years of marriage. What's happening here? Okay, I made the point. I got 3 checks. If I'm going to find an apartment, get a check and this and that. I arrived there, and I was 5 days there, and I didn't go yet to the hotel. And then I called my second ex-husband. That is now strange. I don't hear that word divorce anymore. And I said, listen, I'm not saying the name. I'm not going to repeat it, but I'm not coming back. He said, I thought so. I said, I'm going to find an apartment and you all can come here. I mean, forget it about, of course the kids are coming. He says, I had a feeling. He says, meanwhile, I'm not going to tell the kids anything because I was supposed to go back, pack up and the kids to go to camp and then we'll make Aliyah. But I knew it's never going to happen. So they came in August and I got my Tzudatzut in August. I became a citizen. But I have to tell you people, there was nothing that I had to even think about. Everything went straight and I felt like Hashem just with me. Didn't have to look right or left. And people said, how long did it take you to acclimate? It means that it plita. I said, I don't know, maybe a half hour. And I did my homework. Every day I went to see where the best place is to live, because it should also be Hasidish and also regular, and it should be, and which yeshiva and which school. So I did a lot, and then came for Rosh Hashanah. Came, but slowly, the truth came out that he's not interested in it. After he went to his Rebbe and the Rosh Hashiva and the Rav and one more person, they said, listen, the wife is not coming back. You have to try to see if save this marriage. So he came and started a falafel shop, but he was not in there. But what am I going to say is that why it was a little bit easier for me, I didn't get the get right away. I had to wait a couple of years. And I waited also till he decided a woman can't do much. But because the woman said that the woman has to be happy. What's the matter? Oh, the woman has to be happy where she lives. It's true also with Mani Benyam, but the woman has to be happy. And then also, I forgot about it, but recently I found that the Ramban says that if one partner of the marriage wants to live in Israel and the other one not, it's grounds for divorce. There's no even talk about it. So they're going to know that, and they never said I have to come back to America. Nobody. So anyways, I was there. What is it, 19 years, over 19 years. I would love every minute of it. But I wanted to bring out how I grew on my own and how much I am feeling I've come like full circle, especially now that I'm in Borough Park. It used to be very hard for me in Borough Park. And now I've decided I'm going to be there. I wanted to be there 3 months, but I have to go back to Florida. I live in Florida in Century Village. So it's going to be 2 months, Ma'at Hashem, because I did a lot of growing. And as long as I feel good and I know that I'm connected to Hashem, so it doesn't bother me that everybody there is Hasidish. And hey, I know exactly how to talk and be one of them, all that. But I do want to bring in certain things of what I realize of Hashgucha Pratit and what it means that when you're connected. So I was reading, I get from Rav Avigdor Miller every day his thoughts. Take my glasses yet. Am I doing so far? Excellent. Really? I don't know. I feel like maybe yesterday. This I have to read. I really copied the whole thing, but then other things from my own thing. What's your greatest achievement? There's no happiness as great as the awareness of the Emunah. And let's stop here for a minute. Emunah and bitachon. What is the difference? We always ask, right? You have to have bitachon, you have to have emunah. So emunah, the regular word. Emunah is trust, have trust in Hashem. And bitachon is that we are secure that Hashem is giving us what we need. That we have the emunah, the trust, and that we are secure. We have to be secure, feeling secure. Okay. The more you're convinced that you're standing in the presence of the Creator, the more you become energetic, optimistic, and your life becomes more purposeful. It's so true. True? True? The greatest of all achievements is awareness that you're standing in the presence of Hashem. Okay. Then more, I was writing down recently, is, and this I heard already a long time ago, and Hashem's Baruch wants you to ask for things. Not only to say, but ask in your heart and ask words, real words. And he wrote there, like parking, and I know somebody, a friend of mine, that always said, so Baruch, I need parking now. But when I lived in Israel and I worked, and coming home, I used to schlep bags and all that, and waiting for the bus to go to Ramon. And later on, I realized that I said, Siyata D'Shmaya, the bus to Ramon should come. Siyata D'Shmaya. And what do you know? The bus came. The bus came. It's very true, yes. And let me see more of this, and then I'll say more of the experience that I feel that Hashem is always doing the right thing. Sometimes we go through very tough times, but at the end we know. What? What's it for? What? Oh,
Maybe you say it.
Oh, you're making yutza. Oh. Hashem gives us the things that we should figure out what the purpose is. That's what he did. So does anybody want to share, or just I should go? But the Shadchan gives us sometimes those rough edges, because we should figure out what exactly is the purpose. So
Well, I certainly got to
Okay.
certainly mine is so and brought me so much closer to
Oh.
Hashem.
Okay, this is what I'm saying.
All the davening, all the praying,
Exactly.
all the-
Right. When you were out, what I want to bring up, but I brought down one thing from Victor Miller. I mean, the whole thing. Now, I forgot to mention this. That for me, it was very hard about the clothing. It was very hard for me to feel. Everybody has their things, but it's very hard for me to feel that I am okay. Let's put it that way. That I had once, I came with the Williamsburg bus, I'll never forget it. It really hurt. And somehow we spoke about davening, and I said, yeah, daven. The woman said, you daven?
Oh my goodness.
I felt very hurt. But, and so my father used to say this, Sie geht doch nicht schon, als trug a green hittel a Yerushalayim, soll sagen. And I guess my father did see in it. Here, I have a pen. Did see, you understand? I wish I would have been, he did see that even though I didn't dress hula, but this is what remains in me. You know, Razy, she's very cute. She told me once, Naomi, I don't know why people talk about you. You never changed. You always like to dress colorful. You know? So I said, no. Okay. And then I was in Israel and worked very hard, but I loved every minute. I studied there. I did holistic work. I did healing, and I did reflexology, and I did some massage. And it was great. And I worked at home and at all hours, and the kids remember where at night they had to be quiet until what? Oh, okay. Let me sit up nice and straight. Come on. This is how it's gonna look. All right. And so came the Intifada, year 2000, and I worked also, had my own place, and then the Intifada started. The second Intifada was very hard times, and I had to give up my place, and it was a wonderful place, and it wasn't a lot of money, but I also had a partner, and they lived in the Shtachim, so a lot of customers couldn't come because the cars were bombarded with stones,
Just like,
just like now. But now the thing, then it was with the buses. No, it was a lot of terrible things. So
things are happening. Yeah.
I was also working in a what is it called? They call it clinica.
Clinic.
Yeah, I went there because I went around asking if you have work. So they said, "Do you have clients? You can come here." We don't have clients. It was very hard times. I worked in this clinic for about 6 months. Then I realized you have to be a TL in order to get. First, they gave me all the clients, and everyone was happy. And then waited. I said, I'm gonna have to find some other work. But I was working. I was doing my pool, and all of a sudden, I'm giving a jump, and I thought it was an earthquake, and it was 2 blocks off the famous pizza shop that was there. And Rivki, you were right across the street. You said
No, it was
this
like
one.
around the corner.
Yeah, so the whole thing. So okay, it was. Excuse me. I was working 2 blocks when I was there.
No, he was that time also.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah,
You was in there?
I was yeshiva.
Oh, yeshiva. But we saw it. I was also by another one, but
That was a very sad day.
yes, very. Okay. Why am I saying this? Because later on, welcome. What's your name?
Lively.
Livy. Okay. You know each other?
What?
You know each other?
No, it's the
Oh, how are you?
Okay.
I showed you a like how much.
There's a chair here.
It is awesome. It's not
Yeah, wait, you're putting a chair in the back.
Yeah, sit over there. You live
More than enough place.
Yeah.
You want
Here, sit between the men. Yeah. Pearl, you're leaving? Oh, you must, because now I'm gonna say about thing. Anyways,
I'll be able to see something?
Another 10 minutes, bro.
yeah, another 10 minutes. 10 minutes, yeah. But I'm getting to the point where I understood a very important thing. Okay, so I'm working, and then I decided I have to leave because they're not giving me and the boss like to go. Anyway, so all of a sudden I see an ad in the paper that I could be a letter carrier for the private, that time there wasn't yet internet so the electric bill, the phone bill, Bezek, not water, the ISRA cards, the credit cards, what else? Like
The property taxes?
no, that's not every month. That came every month. 3, 4 kind of envelopes.
But they didn't have postal service.
No, because with private, I don't know the answer with everybody. I don't know, but I did it in Ramot. It was very hard work, but the more I did, the more I can get money. More money, but what happened? This is something that I learned unbelievable. I made money to be able to pay for the bills. I had to. It was very hard, up hills, down, and Yerushalayim is hilly and steps, and I didn't feel so good. I said maybe it's the cold, but you know who Leah Miller is, okay? Leah Fisher, right? Used to talk. Friday was our time. Thing is, I was starving. I didn't have any money for food, and I'm serious, and I know what it means to be hungry. And I didn't ask. But Leah, I told her, she says, you know what? No, they only go to the food banks, the one they give out for poor people. They always have, how is it called?
Soup kitchen?
Soup kitchen. Thank you. I'm going to volunteer. I said, oh, great. So she says, you have at least a good meal. She also told me about the other list, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't. Here, I'm going to volunteer, and I'm serving them. And I went, and they said, yes, if it's any left over, then you can have. And ich bin hungry, and I'm looking at it, and there's no food. Everything was given out. Everything was out. I did it for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, maybe 3.5 weeks. I couldn't. So this was something. Then I still was, because I saved the money that I should have, because the boys came home once in 2 weeks from yeshiva, and Rifki was already married, and I liked them to come.
Well, I didn't have any food to give you then.
I didn't ask. I was very proud, and pride is not a thing that Shemus Baruch wants in any way. And then I did, and then one Friday, it was February 14th, it was very cold. Okay, meanwhile, I was supposed to move. The landlord said he needs the apartment out. And this also, I didn't realize it then yet. So one morning, Yankee was home, we had to go to some kind of a doctor, and we were at the bus stop about 8:40, 8:45, and something attracted me in the bus stops. Are you familiar with the Israeli bus stops? You put all kinds of signs out. And I
That's
see,
everywhere, no?
what?
That's everywhere. It's Satmar, that's everywhere, no?
Signs, the sign, the
Bus
bus.
stop?
Doing advertisements?
Yeah, that's everywhere.
Yeah, but this was a very white paper, so I said, oh, what is it? And I see apartment for rent in Ramot Bed, that's how I wanted, and on Nelson Glick. And I took the little paper, so it must have been then because it was so white, the paper, I'll never forget it. And I put it in, I said, okay, I'm calling. It only happened by 10 to 9 at night. Had it with me 12 hours. And I have to also tell you something. You see, but it's going to be there, Pearl. That, at 10 to 9, I called, and they said, it was the owners, that you can call till 9:15, call right away because you can still go to look at it. And I did. And I came back and I was like, wow, this is a beautiful apartment. Not that it was arranged nice, but I knew already that what I can do. And a big marpeset, and I had a rimon tree, beautiful, and it was on the street. Mindy, it was nice.
It was paradise.
Yes,
I lived there for a
everyone.
few months.
Yes,
So did I.
and exactly. And everybody came. I always had company. I loved it.
Delicious food.
Loved it. So I called back the next day and I said, I'm really interested. And then they called me back and they said, okay, you have the apartment Wednesday night. We're coming to sign the contract. Now, this you got to hear because I went around with the feeling that I am not a normal person.
Right now.
Because that was the Shem after I got divorced, that Chotzetim with the nerve.
Almost.
You missed the whole
Because this way they
No,
could.
I have to.
Because I probably because I like to sing and I like to
What's
dance.
the problem with that?
No, darling, I came to a point. I know that I'm Baruch Hashem now, but listen to this. This really gave me chizuk. They sat in the kitchen, where the only thing in the older apartment, and they were traditional Jews. Sfardim. She went to Beis Yaakov, and then they say, you know why we chose you? She said, we had a lot of calls, and I can know. She says, I am a psychiatric nurse for over 30 years, and I listened to every phone call that my husband got because there was a lot of people calling. She says, when I heard your voice, the way you spoke, I said, this is her. She is normal. She is normal. Okay? You don't know what that did to me. I said,
She didn't see your clothing yet.
so they loved me because I took care of the house like it being my own and the garden, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved the Shemitah year because you were able to see what it means. They jumped over the fence and took whatever there is from the tree. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And also we had aruvas, aravot. Okay. Now that day came, and we signed a contract, and I said, wow, and I had to work, and then the Thursday night, I'm gonna do things, I'm gonna start packing. It's like garbage bags, large ones, and I started packing, and next day, Friday, usually I didn't work, but later on, I worked in my house. When I moved to this apartment, I worked on Fridays, they came to me yet. So I took the lachta, I have a very beautiful lachta that was from my father when he bought it for his 5th wife.
Good to know.
Yes.
Bye.
No, this is a father that was very special. Wasn't just some stunt. He didn't believe,
You never had to have 5 wives.
Yes, he had to have 5 exactly.
Yeah, your mother was the third.
And so the lachta had to be lacquered, and it was also broken. I said, okay, I'm moving. I want to fix it and everything. I went to my shurim. Leah told me where to go, and I went there, I left it, and I come out, and I want to pick up the shirts for the boys. It was in the Davidka Square. I cannot walk, and I started to wake up. And anyways, I got back. That Friday afternoon, pouring rain, I was doing some cooking because a friend needed some minor procedure in the hospital. So she said she wants I should come with her. I said, fine. I said, I'll surprise her. I'm cooking for a couple of meals, and she'll have nice meals to have for the week. Okay, I did it, and I made a lentil soup and some things, because she was on that shit. Over there in Israel, I learned, and it's so good, lentil soup, so hearty, so healthy. And then the Rebbishe Rebbe came to visit, 45 minutes before this one. But he says, Zechrona Livracha. Zechrona Livracha. Thank you. And she says, I have to see you. Nomi, I have to see you. I told my driver, I don't care. I have to see Nomi before Shabbos. So we hugged, we kissed, and she said, okay, we'll be in touch. Okay, and then came Shabbos, and I say Shalom Aleichem and Kiddush, and I eat, and then I went to my benching. I went to my nice, comfortable chair. I don't remember if it was already some sort of recliner, something. And by 10 o'clock, I don't know, I start having pain. I don't know what. 12 o'clock, I call 101. That's it. Atzula mother.
Yeah, you see,
Was not there.
confusing because this is the older apartment. This is
No,
before you moved.
no, the new apartment. No, this is the old apartment.
So you
Before I moved, I was supposed to move in 3 weeks.
Okay.
I was just starting to pack.
Right, because you started talking about the new apartment before.
Yeah. I started, because of the minute, no, because I
Right.
know, I said I'm not gonna be everything chronological because of this. I just said it because we had a beautiful Mepesa, that's what I mentioned. It's
Right.
Anyway, so they come and it's all from people and they say, okay, what is, I don't know, I'm growing up, and then while they're there, I went to the bathroom and they said, you can have a virus. I said, oh, that might be it. That's why I said, because all day this is happening. I said, please give me something for the pain. I have such pain. No, we can't. You have to come to the hospital for that. We cannot do it. I said, the ambulance costs money. He said, yes. I said, I can't. I don't have money. I never went to a doctor there. I didn't know that you get back from the kupa right away. You get if you're entered. If you're, how do you say, admitted. So I crawled, I couldn't stand up straight anymore. No way, I crawled back into bed. I guess that's human nature. I don't remember anything. What happened was 3:23, I got up and I felt a calmness. And all of a sudden, I can't breathe anymore. Can't breathe. And I remember, I said, my children. No, my children, I have to take care of my children. And I call again, and I say, I need a taxi with an Arab driver. Why not an ambulance? I said, I called, but I don't have money to pay for ambulance. And they were there in 2 minutes. And he says, Geveret, at lo margisha tov. I didn't answer, I couldn't. He took me to Terem, and the only Arab doctor, and finally checked and gave me EKG. He says, Geveret, hayala hetkev lev, begadol, you had a heart attack, big time. Oh, it's coming apart. So, Shad Sedek, and 10 to 4. This was 3:23, 10 to 4. I was there on the operating table, no operation. The head of the whole hospital, Dr. Tzivoni, came running. They called him, and he, thank God, he put a stent, but he says you have more, but he says you have 50% damage. So that is, so I had many tzimturim, and I have 6 stents, but I just want to say, one of the tzimturim, you can see everything on the computer, so the half of the heart is nice and pumping, the other half is approved, mamash approved. So, Baruch Hashem, and this is what I want to bring out. Before, if anybody wants, I could read certain things for Chizuk, that I said, thank you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The best thing that happened to me, because I learned how to ask for help. If I'm going to Shalom, I had to tell people. And it was a major, major thing that I struggled through. My life changed a lot, but I have to say, Shabbat knows exactly what to do and how for each person. So, I just also want to add that if a person wants to, Ani Mami, after I finish that, I say Ani Mami. The first Ani Mami that Hashem Baruch Asa, Ose, Veyaseh, Kol HaMaasim, alone. When I say that, I'm not this Rebbishe or whatever, but I feel very protected when I say that. I feel that yes, Hashem Baruch is with me.
Very nice, Naomi. Very nice.
And, want to hear more?
No, I must leave.
Okay, you're prepared. So you're gonna walk now?
Who's
My
Jack?
mom.
Thanks so much for coming.
No,
Yes?
That's your
What
jacket?
did you say?
Who's that?
Oh,
Is this your jacket? or how's it- Okay.
tell me. Yes, it's home? Good. Yes, how are they doing? The couple? Hi,
What?
expecting you. This is a beautiful story.
I still need a big issue, but they expect.
Okay, that's Hashem. Okay, call me. But this time, really.
Really.
Okay. Anyway, I'm very happy. I wish I would have heard it. Hashem Baruch gave me the first grandchild, Mindy. And Mindy was the first step in changing my situation. So, my dear, you get a hug. So I have to say that a lot of good things happened after, and Pearl left, she had to leave, but no, she's washing hands. Oh, yeah. But you know something? I did everything in whatever time, but it took much longer in real life, in real time. But you know something? It's really a catharsis. And that's why I said it was not an easy day to get over here to Namo, but I said, whoever is here, and you know something? I said, give me the right words to say, because I don't want Chas v'Shalom. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm pointing fingers.
You're okay. You're okay.
You're good, don't worry about it, you're good.
You're not gonna say like how you reunited with your sons? because-
Yes, I want to, because yes. But first I have to say about the wedding, because that, everybody, I wish Pearl had to go. I had my youngest son, I was 41, and he was 3 months old, and my oldest son got married. Now, whoever, they didn't allow me to go to the wedding. But my daughter-in-law is such a special person. Her mother said, and with her parents said, if the mother of the husband doesn't come, we are not coming to the wedding. She said, yeah. I'm Israeli and I say what I want to say. And from then on, and so I came to the wedding, but whatever it is, when I saw my son coming to the chuppah and I didn't see him. And then what song came to my mind from Fiddler on the Roof? Sunrise, is this the little boy I carry? I know, and they didn't let me go.
They didn't let you go.
No. I waited till the end. They said, by the end, at the Zayn to Kenzun Mazel Tov. But the kids went home. Rifki and Yankee came to the wedding.
I
but they
remember
said,
the wedding.
You
I still have
remember, huh?
images in my mind. I remember what I wore.
yes, remember? Polka dotted? Yeah,
Wow.
it's so cute. Polka dotted dress. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay. And then When they were married for 10 months, they came, oh, I forgot to say a major, you'll tell it to what I went through in Morocco. We stayed living in Morocco. So they told my sons, don't let Tati hear that. I don't know, because what's it? Why my, I don't know. They said that I had an affair with the second husband, because that's the only way that I could have married so quickly. So her father was very smart at that. When they came to visit 10 months, it was a hard thing. He said, I'm leaving, but make sure you tell Shulchan that we met September 6, 1979. That was 3 months after the death. And when I said it, by the way, I said, Shulchan, I met her. September 6, 1979. I remember it like this. Looked up and said, oh, that's good to know. That's what he said. And so that was a hard thing that my kids thought, and they would. Anyways.
They say I'm a shigas that get crack. Something that's not true, people believe it more than a sickness. People only see the truth. They want to bury their heads in the sand and pretend everything.
Now I'd like to hear things from you guys, and then maybe we could do it. I'd like to hear things. What is going on? What exactly?
Why we
this
here?
group? Why you're here? Yeah.
Who's start?
You start.
ready.
I'm gonna stop the broadcast
Yeah.
then.
So my name is Live.